Hey amazing hackers, I'm TORHAT from HM Cyber Academy. We are going to continue with our incredible web hacking series. Here, you're going to learn hacking or you'll die trying. So let's get started. Previously, we have completed solving Natas 14, which is an SQL injection, simple one, and this, let's see what this one is, and this is also the some kind of a database thing because it's asking for a username, right? So let's check with some random characters. Okay, so it says user doesn't exist. Let's try admin. User doesn't exist, so let's try with Natas 16. Okay, because that's the next one. Okay, so let's try this. User exists. So in this table, in this SQL table, there is an user called Natas 16. So we are going to use this to our advantage, and we'll see so how we can break this. Okay, right. So as we can see, we have only two conditions. One is this one. Let me remove all of this. All right, let me keep this. Okay, so this is one output we got, and the other output we got is this one. Okay, so it seems like true or false conditions, like yes or no. Okay, it exists or it doesn't exist. So only two conditions we got. Okay, so what we can do is we can make the database always true or always false. Okay, so what we can do is, let's say we can consider the same syntax. This time this is not the syntax. Okay, this is asking for username only. Okay, so it's asking for a single entry of the table. Okay, so what we can do is we can use the same thing that we have used before, like Natas, because this is responding to Natas 16. We are going to break it with a double quote. Okay, so I'm gonna save this and we'll see error in query. Interesting. So there is some error in query. So what can we do from here? Since it is responding to a double quote, what we can do is we can add something else, like and 1 equals to 1, and we'll see how it responds. Okay, error in query. So let me comment out this part and we'll see how it goes. It says the user exists. Interesting, right? So we can do this with the similar way, where we can actually don't need to include the comment, but what we can do is use single quotes. Okay, because we are using this kind of approach, we are expecting the database to keep a double quote on the first and the last. Okay, so this is what the payload looks like. So let me have a copy of this. Okay, and here I'm pasting this payload. Okay, so this is how it should look like. So we are expecting the server to keep a double quote at the start, at the end. Okay, so rest of it is our payload. Okay, so I'll keep it in red so that you'll get it. So this is our payload, right? So it is responding to this because this is always true condition. So it is saying user exists. So the next thing we need to do is find out what database it is using. Okay, so we haven't done this previously. Okay, so what we can do is we will create something that returns a true value. Okay, or it responds to this. Okay, because it is already true, and this also has to be true, and then it should respond it. So when we are using this kind of query, so we have to keep some comment to comment out the rest of the things. Okay, So what we will keep in this brackets is, let's keep something like select sleep. Okay, so we are going to let's say keep sleep for 10 seconds. Okay, so it should respond after 10 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this query and I'm clicking on check existence. So it's gonna keep loading for 10 seconds and then it's gonna respond with a true condition, which is user exists. Okay, so why should I keep this select oh yeah, it's gonna keep user doesn't exist because this is actually false, right? But it is responding to SQL query, but this statement is actually false, right? Right. So why did I keep this? Because I'm going to check which kind of database it is. I'm going to use time delays to understand what database it is. So I just kept this one and then it responded with this. It executed this. Okay. And let me keep something else here. Or else what you can do is you can grab this in the burp suite. Okay, so let's click on this. Too much encoding. Let's send into repeater. Stop this, come here. Once you got here, you need to remove everything and then you can understand the syntax and then later you can encode it with URL encode. Okay, so our first thing we need to do is we have identified what kind of database this is. Okay, so this one, so MySQL. So what we need to do is we need to use data similar to this. Okay, so MySQL conditional errors. Okay, so you can keep this conditional error and if it responds to it, then we can go further. And you can also keep some other conditions. Okay, conditional time delays. Okay, so you can also keep this. Okay, so since we are here, we will go with something like double quotes. We know that it uses double quotes and it also should execute something like this, right? So in this, what we can do is we are going to select length of password. So we are going to find the password this time. Okay, so here we are going to keep password. So the length of password greater than 1. So we are expecting this to be greater than 1. So this is a true condition, right? Yeah, of course it is true. And from where we are taking this password? We are taking this from something called users. Okay, and where username equals to, let's say, Natas 16, because we know that Natas 16 exists. Okay, so this is the same thing, the syntax we have discussed previously. We have a users table and username. Okay, so let me encode this whole thing and we'll see how it responds to it. So its response with 200. Okay, response, and what we have got is the user exist. Okay, so you can actually unencode this. Not possible, I guess. Right. All right. Yeah. Shift U. Right. So let me copy this payload. Copy, and we'll go here and we'll see the response as the user exists. Right, because the main thing we have done is we have kept greater than 1. What if we keep less than 1? We'll see. And let's send. Okay. We'll see the user doesn't exist because the password is not less than 1. Okay, so let me keep equals to 1 and we'll see what it is. And I think I need to encode this. right? And here we have seen the user doesn't exist because it is not equal to 1. Okay, the length of password is not equals to 1. So what we can do at this time is we can send it to intruder, and we can brute force this. We'll clear everything. All we need is this one because password equals to 1. Okay, so we are going to add this, and we are going to go to payloads, and we are going to keep numbers 1 to, let's say, 40, and then step 1. So it's going to try 40 times. Okay, 1 2 3 4, and whenever the password equals to the exact number, then it's going to return with a true condition. Okay, so since it returns in both ways, like a user exists and user doesn't exist, there is a change in the output length. Okay, so we can just see this. Okay, the number 32 is the length of the password. Okay, so here if you see, it should respond with user exists. Okay, if you see everything else, it should respond with user doesn't exist. So we have identified the length of the password for Natas 16 is length 32, right? So we're gonna save this in here. Okay, the length of password is this, right? So the next thing what we need to do is we need to identify what characters each one is. Okay, so we're gonna do in a couple of ways. Let me keep equals to some character here. Okay, so we are expecting this thing to be a. So what is the thing? So we're gonna remove this. We're gonna select substring, and whenever you use substring, also understand the syntax from here. Okay, substring here. Since we are using MySQL, we are going with this one. Okay, so what does this actually mean actually? All right, so I think I messed up. I'll just keep this, right? So substring, right? So substring is actually taking a part of a string. Okay, so it's gonna take a part of this string, and it is going to check the location. Okay, so location means it is going to start from letter fourth letter. Okay, so let's say 1 2 3 4, it is going to start from B, and it is going to select 2 characters. Okay, so it is the output of this whole thing will be BA. Okay, this is what it is doing. Okay, so it is going to check the 4th character, and from 4th character it is taking 2 characters. Okay, from 4th character it is taking 2 characters, so this output will be this one. So what we are trying to do is we are going to keep 1 here and 1 here. Okay, so we are taking from first position to only 1 character. Okay, and we are checking if it is equals to A. So since the first position first character is not A, so it is going to return user doesn't exist. So until if it reaches F, okay, so now this one is a true condition, so this is going to return a true condition, which is a user exists. So this is exactly what we are going to do. Okay, we are going to this one. Okay, select substring, and we are going to select the password this time, and in that password we keep first character, first position first character. Okay, and in this what we need to do is from users, where username equals to Natas 16 equals to this one. Okay, let's encode this. I think some parts are already encoded, so let me encode only this part. All right, so I think this should do it. So it should return something because it is checking for this. Okay, so it is not giving any syntax error, which means our syntax is true. Okay, I mean our syntax is correct. So what we are trying to do is we are enclosing this whole thing within this thing, and this whole string is going to return some string. Okay, and we are comparing that string with character A. Okay, so let's send this to repeater, I mean intruder, and in here what we need to do is we're going to clear everything. We are going to select this first one, and we are going to add this, and we are going to add this as well. Okay, right. So we are not going to use sniper this time, we are going to use a cluster bomb. So because we are going to brute force the whole thing. Okay, so how many characters is it? It's going to select first character, I mean first position, one character. I mean next it is going to check the second position, first one character. So what this is going to do is it is going to test the first position, and from first position only one character, from second position only one character, third position one character, and it is going to compare with this character. Okay, so we are going to use a cluster bomb, and then first one is numbers, and we do know that we have 32 characters in our payload and step 1. Okay, and second one is brute forcer. And one thing we need to do is we need to also keep capital letters C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y Z, and you are going to understand why I kept it. Okay, so only one length, one maximum length. Okay, right. So we are going to brute force the whole thing. Right, let's start attack. And to increase something, you can also keep resource pool to 30. You can keep 30 because there is no restriction. When we are using time delays, it is going to be a bit difficult. Since we are using only true or false conditions, I think we can throw as many things as we can. So I'm keeping 30 to speed up the attack. Let's get started. As you can see, one of this is already returned at 11th position. Okay, you're going to understand something interesting here. As you can see, the small and the capital letters has no difference, right? So why is that? You need to understand that in our payload we haven't mentioned small characters or capital letters. We kept everything. Okay, so what we need to do now is to understand ASCII. As you can see, we haven't mentioned small letters or capital letters. So in MySQL database, there is no difference between small letters and capital letters. So this is the first thing you need to understand. Okay, in MySQL database, there is no difference between small letters and capital letters. Okay, so you need to mention something different here. Okay, so that means the small letter A, which is decimal 97, is the same as decimal 65 in MySQL. Okay, so what we are going to do is a small trick. Okay, so let's take this payload and we'll understand what it looks like. Do we have this in cheat sheet? Let me, there is nothing like this. Okay, so this is our position right now. Okay, so instead of equals to, which is this, we are going to change it to like binary. So just by keeping this, what we are trying to do is we are going to check if the binary value of this one equals to the binary value of this, which means the binary value of this one should be equals to the binary value of the first character of the first password. Okay, so that is what we are trying to do. So this small change will take care of everything. Okay, so we have everything already set, so we'll just have to start the attack. And as you can see, we are getting some responses. That's great. And we also got a capital letter, and we'll see if we got the small letter in the same location. Okay, no we don't. Okay, we haven't got small letter in position 11. Okay, because we are checking binary values. Okay, this time we are asking the database very specific questions. Okay, and it is returning with proper answer. Right, I think we are done with the we are done with the scan. And what we can do at this point is select only these values and shift click. Okay, I have selected 32 characters. Okay, and this is the little trick when you're brute forcing. Okay, so just highlight this with any color and then click on this filter position. Okay, and show only highlighted items. So now we got only highlighted items. So what we are going to do with these highlighted items, we are going to set this in payload order. Okay, right, so now we have everything in order. Okay, now the only thing we need to do is just capture these values, right? Just type it, it's much easier. Okay, right, where is it? Where is this values? Results. Okay, nice. Results, come on. So TRD 7I capital Z or D5 G capital A capital TI, no it is J 9P KP E UA0, I mean that is capital O L and F capital E J capital H QJ3 to capital V. So this is our password for Natas 16. And another thing we can do is, let me change a small thing in this payload. Okay, so we are going with the same thing, but instead of using the comment, we can also enclose this with a double quote. Okay, since we left out double quotes here, we are going to leave out double quotes at the end as well. Okay, so this is also going to return the same thing. Okay, right, so if you start attack, as you can see, you already got the same result. So try to understand the ways you do SQL injection. Okay, so it's quite easy. So either you can comment sometimes, or you can just keep double quotes or single quotes left out. Okay, so this is quite easy, right? So once you do this, you select from starting to the ending right here. Okay, you check the length of this response and highlight this with some other color, let's say, and highlight, show only highlighted items, and then set it in order and just type it. Okay, it's as simple as that. All right, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right.